From your vantage point as a university student, how strong is the influence on young people to have sex before marriage?
Well, as a young person, you're really into what your friends are doing, and you really want to be accepted and to be cool, to be looked up to by your friends. And in order to do that, you look to what's popular in society. And what's popular in society is all about sex appeal, about looking good, about attracting a member of the opposite sex. And so the way we look, the clothes we wear, the movies we watch, even the food we eat sometimes, it's all about, what looks good, about sex appeal. And so there's this constant drive, this constant temptation that you're surrounded by to have sex, whether it's premarital or whether it's sex outside of marriage. And yeah, again, especially as a young person, you're trying to look cool and do what's cool, and what's cool is, sex appeal. And another thing too is, especially as a guy, in high school and college, guys always talk about, they might ask you, have you had sex yet? Are you still a virgin? And if you're a virgin, there's this connotation that, you're not really a man yet. And so for guys, you have your pride, your manhood, and so you want to, seem manly to everybody else. So there's a push there to have sex as well. And so it's really hard to avoid all that when everything around you is driving you in this direction.
Sometimes it's not enough to want to be a good person or to want to maintain high moral standards because the temptations can be too great. What do you believe makes the biggest difference in allowing young people to have the moral fortitude to simply say, no, thank you?
I feel that there's three things. The first is your family and your faith. I feel like those are can be a foundation for you and for your life. Because your family is where you grow up and where you learn about the world. And so if your family supports you in your moral principles and they live by it themselves, then that can be a very strong stepping stone to keep going through your life. And also with your faith, a lot of faiths have those ideals of having moral standards of, abstinence before marriage, fidelity within marriage, and all these things. And so if you're really involved in your faith, you have a very strong faith, then that will help you as well. But at the same time, when you're a young person, you're in that kind of searching mode, learning to be independent from your family, so that's not always enough. So the second thing is your environment. Your environment is what influences you. It can influence you a lot more than you realize. And the normal environment that we live in is, again, one of, what sells, and what sells is sex appeal. So if you can change your environment to one that can be more supportive for you, that can really help a lot. So one thing is the friends you have. That's really important, the friends you have. If you can find friends that support you in your beliefs, that have the same beliefs as you do, then together you become that much stronger. There's strength in numbers. I know for me, that's really one of the main things that I feel has kept me going. And I almost feel like God has been guiding me to the people I become friends with, because they're a really strong, integral part of me getting to where I am today. Because they're people who also were into upholding these kind of standards. And along with environment is also just, paying it what kind of magazines you read, what TV shows you watch, what music you listen to. All these things really affect you. And if you're listening to things that are all about, sex and drugs and all these things, then that's going to influence you. That's going to make it that much harder to resist that temptation. And the third thing is having a vision, having a goal in mind of where you want to get. Why are you upholding these moral standards? Why are you going against society? Why are you doing the thing that sometimes may be uncool? What are you trying to get at? to have that a vision. For me, that vision is having a family. You know, that's really my ultimate goal in life, is to have a family. And I know that when I get married, I want to be able to tell my wife that, you know, I've saved myself my whole life up for you. And also, you know, to be able to be that kind of role model and example for your children, because I'm sure you don't want your children in the future to live that kind of lifestyle either. So by having a vision, it's kind of like you can see your destination, and it'll make it easier to reach it.